The fastest way to live off dividends is to stop trying to live off dividends. Now, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Stephen Brooks. I'm a hedge fund manager, and I generate cash flow for myself and my investors using systematic automated option strategies, mostly in the S&P 500. And I want to talk to you today about why almost everything you've been told about generating income from your investments is completely wrong. The dividend yield on a total market index fund right now is about 1%. That means if you want to generate $100,000 a year in dividend income, you need $10 million sitting there in the market. And for obvious reasons, most people are not going to get there. Now, others will look to an income ETF like JEPI, the JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF, that boasts a 7.5% to 8.5% annual yield. Now that sounds a lot better than 1%, right? But here's the truth. It's not even a dividend. Now, how do I know? Because the IRS taxes it as ordinary income. If it were a real dividend, they would be required to tax it as a dividend. That's the law. Now, what you're actually receiving in many cases is just a return of your own capital. And that's exactly why in that top chart, you can see that JEPI is up almost 2% over the past year, while the S&P 500 in the bottom chart up almost 22%. They're giving you your own money back, while everyone on Reddit, everyone on YouTube, and everyone on Instagram is calling it income. So the question becomes, how do we actually generate a sufficient yield from our capital without it eating into our principal and without us having to be glued to the screen all day? Now, it is different for everyone. Everyone is in a unique situation. I've personally tried real estate. I ended up losing about $500,000 doing that. Plus, I received maybe like a 1% annual yield when I was promised something like 8 to 10%. And real estate, mind you, is 100% illiquid. So that sucks. And while real estate does come with tax advantages, if you actually use them, you are never getting your initial investment return to you ever. Now, Treasuries are yielding better than dividends right now, but with interest rates likely headed down before they go up again, it's still not sufficient enough to live off of. Plus, there's no potential for appreciation. But the one thing that has stood the test of time, that has really, really worked well, is systematic options, specifically zero DTE options on the S&P 500 index. Now, before you flip out and lose your mind thinking, I have to be glued to the screen all day, that's just not true. Because the way I do them is 100% automated. And zero DTE options come with benefits that no other investment vehicle has. Number one, they are 100% liquid. You can access your capital whenever you want. One of the things that really bothered me a lot about real estate is that money, that capital, it goes from your bank account to a line item on a piece of paper, and then it never returns. Number two, there is no overnight risk. So when the United States and Israel bomb Iran and the market opens down 2%, you are not experiencing that at all. We are in cash every single night. Number three, out of the box, even though we're in cash, when the market closes every day, 60% of your gains are taxed as long-term capital gains. That's the Section 1256 tax treatment that comes automatically out of the box with S&P 500 index options. Number four, returns can be, if done correctly, dramatically better than the buy and hold model, and dramatically better than the dividend model, something like 3 to 5% per month over the long run. For example, over the past 5 months, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, the S&P 500 is up less than 1%. My automated zero DTE portfolio is up over 16. Number five, your returns are completely uncorrelated to the market's direction. What most people don't know is that 98% of the market's gain or loss over the course of a year happens outside of the 9:30 to 4 p.m. cash session. So the returns you get with an intraday system are not correlated to the market because the time you have exposure is not during the time when the market actually makes its biggest moves. So if you are an accredited investor and want to invest in our fund that runs zero DTE option strategies, there will be a link below this video. In the fund, we run multiple different strategies that are uncorrelated to one another with the goal of producing as much cash as possible. Or if you are interested in learning about zero DTE options and using our software that'll place all the trades for you, there'll be a link below this video as well. I'll see you in the next one.